praise you for your gift of blood. Lord, we are shooting this movie for you, for an audience of one, because we know if we please you, that it'll reach the masses, it'll reach everyone that you desire to reach. Father, I pray for this. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Let's come forward now. We have offering buckets in the front here, the silver buckets. Let's sow into the Lord.
Hey, everyone. Just really quick announcement before we start the show today. We have been officially acquired. We are now a sub-podcast sponsored entirely by WYSIWYG Productions. From now on, the full name of our show, we'll be saying, welcome back to WYSIWYG's Boys Bible Study. So I just wanted everyone to know this is very exciting for us. We prayed on it, and it was just the right thing to do.
And I'm happy to say too, this is a pretty lucrative deal. We haven't seen a dime of it yet, but we have been guaranteed with a handshake from Pastor Gazowsky himself. So I know it's coming.
Mm-hmm. And this will be the first podcast heard on another planet. Extraterrestrial. We are putting the extraterrestrial in terrestrial broadcast.
Yes. No, this is all very exciting.
So stay tuned to the rest of this episode to figure out what we are referencing.
Yes. But let me tell you, when that $200 million from the WYSIWYG merger hits our shared bank account that we all have a debit card that goes to, it's just going to be a race to see who can swipe that card faster and faster.
Investors they're on the way.
They're on the way?
They're on the way.
That's very,
the
very
second wind is
us.
coming.
Very exciting.
The second wind has broken.
Yes. Welcome back to WYSIWYG's Boys Bible Study. This is a very, very special episode. We are going straight to the source, watching a movie that we've talked about and loved for a while, and we're finally reviewing the show
before for an episode that did not get recorded.
That's true. This is technically
all part
our
of God's plan. Sometimes things take longer than you might have hoped in the first place.
Yep. Yep. And sometimes it's a test to see if a certain guest is going to come on the show or not. Sometimes you watch a movie for a special famous guest, and it's a test to see if they're really meant to be a guest on Boys Bible Study or not.
Famous is doing a lot of legwork there.
Sure. But nevertheless, this is all according to God's keikaku. All according to God's keikaku. And yeah, very exciting. Film we're watching this week is called Audience of One. As always, I'm your co-host, Ash, here with my co-hosts,
Scott
and Julian.
Yes. This is really kind of the blueprint. I think that watching this movie, although it's just about, one man, one production company, I think that it is really eye-opening when it comes to appreciating the attitudes that lead to the creation of some of our favorite films of all time. I think it's a master class. I honestly think that Pastor Gazowsky, sort of the star of the documentary Audience of One, I think his method should be taught in leadership classes.
Yes.
Because he really just he just motivates you.
Honestly, I think this is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen.
Me too.
Same.
In terms of what I like about documentaries and stuff, this is right up there with American Movie, An Act of Killing. Felt like kind of the fusion of those two.
Wow.
A nice halfway point. A compromise between those two.
Basically the only two documentaries I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there are better ones. But this was really, I don't know. It was even better than I remembered. Just truly a remarkable document of why projects fail under the weight of their own ambition, and just why not everyone is meant to make a piece of media or art, despite how badly they want to.
And also to that point as well, I think even if you are not necessarily quote unquote meant to make something, perhaps it can be wise to bring your ambition to a workable point.
Yes. If you can't do
sure.
that, then it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
It's The Burden of Dreams,
Mm-hmm.
the Werner
Yeah.
Herzog movie about Fitzcarraldo.
Mm-hmm.
Be a great.
And I'm hoping to
companion
bring
piece
you
to this.
around, Julian, in this podcast to revisiting your viewpoint on the movie we covered last week.
In what way?
Because I was arguing for it being intentionally to-be-core, because this key grip who has worked on incredibly huge productions, how possible and not possible it was to do certain things.
Okay. Yes. That I understand what you're saying now. I think I got hung up on the to be core. I got hung up on the idea that he was like studying to be movies and being like, I could make it look like this. But yes, he seemed to understand how a budget works and what is
right. No, I mean, it being called to be core that's my own problem, of course. That's just what I consider certain movies to be from a certain time period at this point because of how they get distributed.
Yes, I will agree with you entirely that the guy who made that movie definitely understands how to make a movie more than
and just
the pastor in this movie, who seemed to understand how to make a movie but didn't really know how to budget and what are the things that actually get the movie made.
Yeah, it was honestly very inspiring to see someone think about finances the way I do, but on a much grander scale by just being like walking into a film equipment convention and seeing a crazy mixing board and being like, I think we're going to need 2 of these.
Yeah. That's crazy. And the fucking, we're going to shoot the whole thing on 70 millimeter at 60 frames a second. And we cannot, because the more frames a second, the better the movie is. Which is funny because Peter Jackson eventually did The Hobbit in like 90 frames a second, the whole movie.
One up them. He was watching an audience of one and saying, I got to get ahead of these people.
Yep.
Before they get it together, I need to make sure The Hobbit comes out and there's even more frames.
And now every movie is in 90 frames a second.
I think so. I think you're right.
No.
This podcast is a 320 kilobyte MP3 file. It could have been
Pretty
128. Good. Just kidding. It is 128. We don't pay for a high enough Libsyn package to be putting that high quality of files on it.
Well,
that's quite all right though. So much inspiring here. But I do think this is incidentally, very cool study between last week's film Church of Darkness, which, I had some problems with, but I do really laud that filmmaker whose name I already forgot for how efficiently he got the most bang for his buck. Seemingly. And Audience of One, quite the opposite. Tons of money spent. By the way, this is a documentary about a failed, arguably, Christian movie project. Tons of money spent. A whole church flies to Italy to film 2 scenes of a movie that are silent, that never amount into a full picture.
Got more footage out of it than Jodorowsky did for Dune. Just throwing that out there.
If there was a
Make
graph,
of that what you will.
If there was a graph of film accomplishment where, at the top was like a Dogma 95 film, at the bottom was Jodorowsky's Dune, Audience of One would still rank somewhere in between those two, or the film that was being made as documented by Audience of One would rank somewhere in between those 2 polls. So that's commendable.
Yes.
The Did More Than Jodorowsky Award. An excellence of filming 2 scenes.
And although I did enjoy the documentary about Jodorowsky's Dune, this is a better documentary. So
yeah, it's that great type of documentary that moves with its subject, and it just does what documentaries should do. It feels neutral, and it just presents the events as they unfold.
It's so nice to see a documentary that's not trying to like convince you of its own importance.
Yeah.
Or the importance of the thing that it's following. I just like, I don't know. I mean, there's still good movies, documentaries. There's still good stuff out there, but like,
Of course.
just the crap that is fucking on Netflix and Max or whatever, like every day is just like so fucking exhausting and like whatever. This is awesome. This was just a nice, relaxing, felt like you were there.
Yeah.
With these people.
It really did.
And it really, I mean, at certain points, you don't really know, like, it kind of feels like, until probably about halfway through the film, it kind of feels like maybe they will actually do this. Like, you know, you don't expect them to end up in Italy. Like,
right.
No.
I mean, until it becomes evident that he's just spending money that he does not have and never will have, which I'm so amazed that people can do that.
I know.
Like whenever I watch Bar Rescue and they're like, I am $600,000 in debt from this. I'm like, how did you even get that?
Yeah, I don't think I've made and spent that much money in my life.
Yeah.
It's crazy. No, once they get to Italy and you see the set that they're on too, like what they have as a set, I'm like, this is awesome. This looks great.
Yep. I was really rooting for them.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I still am, but you know, as the documentary goes on, their prospects of actually finishing this thing get less and less. Question, and I don't know if any of us know this information. I didn't think to Google it before we started talking, but does anyone know how the documentarian found the church or how he started working with them?
No, I don't.
I don't know. That would be interesting because I just want to know. Like,
he was just in the city, and
he must have just been in San Francisco, right? Because they were talking about like they interviewed a local news reporter, I believe, who was just talking about how the church and its film production was a notable going on in San Francisco at the time.
Yeah,
because they were constantly running Craigslist ads saying like, work for free in this movie that's going to be valued at $100 million in a town that has a film industry and where film jobs are unionized and regulated.
Yeah.
They were constantly running illegal ads or ads that ran afoul of the union.
And this is like feels like it's right before like the tech era of San Francisco really, really took off. And like there was still character and artists and creatives documenting and creating. And
no, that's a good point because I lived in San Francisco from 2007 to 2010 for like exactly 3 years almost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was definitely still, when I moved there, it was still like you could live cheaply as an artist. And there were tons of Craigslist ads like that.
When it was like still its own city, it felt like versus just like a corporation.
Right.
No immediate info in the Wikipedia about how the documentary is Michael Jacobs, the documentarian. I mean, no immediate info about how he encountered the church, but I'm really glad he did. I'm glad he decided to devote, a year of his life. I believe. I think at one point he says 8 months. I don't know exactly how long the filming went, but a decent chunk of time living with these people, obviously getting to know them, traveling with them to Italy, going with them on prayer retreats, being there for services and rehearsals and meetings. I'm just so grateful that Michael Jacobs recognized the special story that was unfolding and wanted to be there to capture it because it was really magical.
And really let them tell it too, which was great. Even showing what some folks who are less familiar with the church would not be able to look past where it's shown sooner. He is a Pentecostal preacher, and one of the more notable things about the Pentecostal church is that people will speak in tongues, and that can look pretty silly to an outsider. And they don't show any of that until the very end, which I thought was tasteful and smart.
Very tasteful. We should podcast in tongues one of these days. We should do a whole. I was thinking watching this how I never thought of this before. I've seen footage over the years of doing the show of people speaking in tongues. I like when they're just getting started
Yeah.
Because they're sort of talking and then they let it slip out. They'll be like, and God is with us in this room. They like to kind of get into it. And you're like, oh, you're like gearing up. Like, and everybody starts like getting horny for it, you know? And then all of a sudden they're, some people are holding hands. Some people are like shaking and shrieking. Some people are yelling. It's fire. It's amazing.
It's really cool. Yeah, should we give a little rundown on this documentary if people aren't familiar?
Yeah, let's do it.
So this is a documentary that follows the film. We're going to do this like Mad Libs because I can't remember any of the details of this. This is a film that follows Pastor
Gazowsky, Richard Gazowsky.
Yes, who is the pastor for the religion.
Voice of Pentecost.
Yes, the Voice of Pentecost Church in San Francisco. And he is embarking on a quest to make the most successful Christian film and one of the most successful films of all time called
Gravity, the Shadow of Joseph.
Yes. And so this about 90-minute documentary follows them over the course of actually a few years, right?
Gotta be.
You might be right.
Like 8 months of, actual production, but I think, 3 or 4 years of the actual, from the inception of the project, just after the inception of the project to, moving on to some of the even more ambitious plans than the most successful film of all time. This is all about Pastor Gazowsky and his journey to bring God's vision for a Christian film to humanity.
Yeah, and part of what makes it such a great character study for our show is that we watch a lot of films where you watch it thinking, what kind of force of personality was required to get this from zero to finished. Mind you, we mostly watch finished movies on our podcast. I would say almost entirely finished movies. So a lot of the people, even I'm just going to say it, insane people that we profile, made at least one more movie than Pastor Gazowsky. But Pastor Gazowsky does it with such showmanship.
Yeah. I don't think he's like mentally ill like a lot of people who finish these films. I think he just really, really, really wants to be like, I don't even know if he really wants to be famous. I just think he really, really wants to make a movie, but has no idea how. And seems relatively uninterested in how the technology of stuff like works with I don't know. To make, if I may, and I have very, 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 some would not even call it success in these endeavors, but to make a visual, like a movie or a short film or whatever, you got to have the technology mind and you have to have the practicality mind and you have to have the creative mind all working together. Mm-hmm. This guy seems to really only have the creative mind.
Yep.
And you have to have ambition.
Oh, he's got that.
He's got a little bit of all of those, but none of them are really interconnected, and they all seem to be working separately from one another.
The one skill of a filmmaker, of a director that he really has, and he leans on the most, and I mean, it gets him it gets him to make a lot of people work for several years on a production, is he is good at leading people. He is good at motivating people. He comes across, even in very stressful situations where he's clearly making it up as he's going along, he comes across as very cool and collected.
Yeah.
There's honestly many times watching him where I was watching the way he was interacting with people, knowing that I would never want to work with him and he's definitely insane in some capacity. I was still listening to him talk and being like, wow, he's such a good communicator. Like, I wish I could communicate like that.
He never doubts himself at any point in this.
Right.
He never doubts himself or the project at any point, which is really remarkable considering what he's up against at times. He seems to truly believe that God wants this thing to happen.
Yes. And we should mention immediately that the reason he decided that he needs to make this movie is because in 1994, for the first time in his life, he saw a feature-length film at the age of 40.
Yes.
And that film was Star Wars. And his mind was blown, of course. And 6 months later, he was up on a mountain, whatever that happens to mean. The hill, I don't know, a hill in San Francisco. Yeah. He said that God talked to him and told him he wanted him to be the Rolls Royce of filmmaking and to make the greatest movie ever.
10 years ago, I was praying on a mountaintop. The Lord spoke to me like out of the blue. You will start a film company. I want you to be the Rolls Royce of filmmaking. Be better than anyone in the world. I believe God has given us a vision. It's been very clear. And now we're seeing that vision fulfilled before our very eyes. Oh, yeah, come on.
Why would God talk in terms like that?
Like the Rolls Royce, God loves his
Rolls Royce of stuff. Like
that's a good one, though, right, Julian?
Yeah,
Rolls
it really
Royce
is. I mean, that's like they talk about. That's like what you call a really good soccer player.
Yeah,
it's like maybe God loves footy.
Yeah,
footy and film, a man after my own heart, or woman.
Yeah, I think she really is. To further emphasize my thesis that he is a great leader, even though he doesn't know what he's leading. One of my favorite scenes in the film is like when they're in Italy and he's talking to one of his actors whose name is Ken, who is not a Christian believer.
Yes.
Ken is they keep referring to him as like a local guy, and he has some very vague kind of stunt experience.
Yeah.
So I think he's like been a stuntman in a film before, and he also does some kind of like circus act or whatever. So they bring him on the production, and they actually give him a role in the film, and they take him to Italy. And in Italy, I mean, it seems like a very frustrating time. And he's kind of being a diva, and he's saying like, I'm an actor. I need to talk to you, the director, for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And Pastor Gazowsky, he just like totally keeps cool, and he was just like, are you going to be high maintenance like this? And Ken is like, what do you mean high maintenance? I'm working all day and night for no money. I'm not doing anything. And then the guy is just like, just don't like trip out, man.
Yeah.
And then Ken is like, hey, I've been to your church services. Like, I see you guys like tripping out all the time. And he's just like, yeah, just don't trip out. Like, he does not break for a second.
I had to watch that scene twice because I couldn't tell if Ken was having like a meltdown or if he just he was saying like, I can't act if you don't tell me how I'm supposed to act. Like, he didn't know anything about what he was supposed to do. And he was just like, I just need to talk to you for like 20 minutes.
Okay, before I start acting, I need to talk to him because I kept trying to talk to you, and I need to talk to you because you're the director, okay? Mm-hmm. And I'm an actor, okay? Right. And I need to have communication with you because you have the vision.
When somebody threatens to walk off the set.
I did not threaten to walk off the set. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to be honest, be myself. Be who I am.
But you're not being yourself. You're actually.
Am I not being myself? No. Am I not being myself?
No, you're being overly.
Or am I not being what you think I am?
Don't trip out.
Come on. I'm not on any drugs. Man. I'm not. I haven't had anything to drink.
Okay, whatever. Well, but you can still trip.
What do you mean I'm tripping?
Just be normal.
You're talking to me about tripping and being normal. When I've seen your church services. I've seen your church services, okay? I see how the group gets, okay? And you're telling me I'm tripping, okay?
I guess so, man.
I'm tripping.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So just be cool. So. That's all. Just lighten up.
This is, mind you, they've been in Italy for like 4 days at this point.
Yeah.
And haven't filmed anything. And he's making them all stay up like 24 hours a day because they're supposed to film at like any minute.
So where everything's perfect, nothing is bad. We're going to be here all night, though. Enjoy.
All night.
And yeah, so I had to watch it again because I was like, I thought he was having like a nervous breakdown or something, but it turns out he was just like wanted some direction or something.
Wanted some direction, was probably very sleep deprived, because they do make it pretty clear that because of all the technical issues they're having, because they have one of the tech guys on set who has some experience is like, there's no backup equipment for anything.
So crazy.
So like they end up filming at like very late at night, and there's like all these kids there too. So
yeah,
I can imagine his frustration. But it really is a masterclass in how he handles them, because he's like, I just need to talk to you already to like get some direction here. And within 20 seconds of him saying that, Pastor Gazowsky's like, that's why I'm talking to you, man. That's why I wanted to talk to you about this.
Yes, it's crazy.
He's a genius.
And
really
yeah, to further paint the picture, they have bought and rented like the most expensive high-end film equipment you could possibly get. Whether or not it works with, like, they buy camera and film that is too heavy for the like extremely expensive cranes and stuff that they have.
Yeah.
And so they're also having, outside of maybe 3 or 4 people, no one on this entire film crew has worked on a movie before.
Right.
No.
Including their film loader, who is he the pastor's son?
I don't remember who he was, but he said at some point, like, they were like, when did you learn how to load film? He was like, yesterday.
Yes, which is crazy.
And he's working with like equipment that you would probably get paid, in the high thousands, like as a day rate to load on a film.
Wow.
Yeah. 70 millimeter film. Like, I have no idea what that costs, but it's a lot. That's definitely the most expensive film you can get. And somebody who doesn't know what they're doing is in charge of making that work.
And every step of the way, they have tried to talk him out of this, it's also very strange that this is happening at the same time The Room was filmed in San Francisco.
Oh, right.
Which was another person who went about the exact same way. Like, props to Tommy Wiseau for actually finishing that movie.
He finished a damn
because
film.
Yes, he did.
He also famously bought or rented, or maybe he bought 2 like professional film cameras to film the movie at the same time on film and digital.
Right.
So I don't know. This is just
these
are just
rig.
guys who walk among us who think this way about stuff.
Yeah.
But to that point, he did have backup equipment, because if they had digital as well here, then they probably would have gotten some footage.
Yeah.
I do think partially, I mean, obviously having inexperienced people working with the equipment is bad. But besides the Born Yesterday film loader, shooting at 60 frames per second had to be fucking it up too, because you just don't do that on film. Like the reason Peter Jackson could do like 90 frames per second or whatever is because he's shooting digitally. And then you could actually show that as well.
Yeah.
I messaged my old boss yesterday, who is a film expert. He teaches people all over the world. He's written one of the best books on like how film projectors work. And like, I was like, would it even be possible, to your knowledge, for any remotely standard 70 millimeter film projector to run at 60 frames per second without like crazy modifications? And he was like, no, I've never heard of that. Even for it to be go between 24 and 30 is like not common.
And mind you, this is 20 years after. You're asking him this 20 years after the events of this film. If there was any development in that also very insane, barely usable technology, you would think it would have happened by now. And it seems like it hasn't.
It's also just funny because I believe it.
How is he going to show it? Whatever.
Wasn't Star Wars being shot digitally at this point too? Like the episode 1 and 2 had been out already. And like even the movie that inspired this and was like, again, a worldwide sensation is not filming the way that he is.
Yeah, it just seems like he was so fixated in doing everything to the most extreme level. He was just like, to him, the 60 frames per second represented high quality bar.
Yeah.
And that was a given. That was just like what had to happen for this movie. It doesn't make any sense.
People tried to talk him out of it every step of the way.
Yes,
I would give him advice,
clearly.
tell him why you shouldn't do that, and he said it was God's plan. Everything was God's plan.
Yeah.
And he says, like, if we're not pushing the edge, what are we doing here? How are we any different?
Now, for us shooting 60 frames a second with 70 millimeter film is costing us a horrendous amount of money. Jens tried to convince me, let's go 24 frames a second. Let's do it how it's normally done. And so we sat at the dinner table, and I said, man, if we're not going to push the edge, you know what I mean, why are we even doing it? What are we doing that's going to be any special? You know what I mean, that's going to make our film, worth people watching, because we kind of feel our mandate is to be a leader, and if you lead, that means there's no pathway there for you to follow. You have to get out the old machete and start cutting away through the brush.
Which, at that point, I'm like, why are you even making a movie then? Why don't you just invent a new media?
Yeah.
Well, more on that. The movie. Do we ever find out what the plot of this movie is? Or it doesn't seem like we ever get to know who the lead actors are. I couldn't tell who was playing what.
I was kind of wondering if that was part of the deal with, later on, once they get the studio and they have because 8 people on set had a dream that there were security issues.
Yeah.
They decide they have to lock down the script. I wonder if he asked the Mike Jacobs to not give away the story.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah, he could only reveal the most basic details of the story. The only thing we really know is that it has to do with the story of Joseph and his brothers, which is from the Bible. He talks about, and this is a very basic outline of a Bible story. He talks about how, Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers because they were jealous of him.
Right.
And then he, the original Svengali, Joseph, made a man of himself in Egypt as a slave and, met his brothers again years later. They assumed he was dead or would never be heard from again. Yeah. And he was in a position where he was able to help his brothers who were begging him for help. And, he obviously could have taken revenge on them. Yeah. But he instead forgave them and helped them. So they vaguely allude to that story. They also say it's taking place in the future, except for then there's a scene in the movie where they're asking somebody, is this set in the past or the future? And the man says to the room, we're still working on that. Now, granted, that was in pre-production, but it seems like a pretty big detail that had not been established while they were paying people to make sculpted heads of aliens and monsters and stuff, and they couldn't tell you when or where this movie was being made.
Creatures you've never seen before. Saying at the same time.
They were saying
this
that
back when those creatures existed.
Right. And they were saying they were kind of using the Italy setting as inspiration. He was like, there's going to be a scene that's filmed in an ancient Starbucks. And somebody's like, don't you think that's going to be too similar to, someone says don't you think it's going to be too similar to the Star Wars bar scenes? Right. And he was like, that never crossed my mind.
Yeah,
he's like, it's like a smoky Paris cafe, where everybody's gathered and you walk in and everybody is all the aliens there are mad at him or whatever. Yeah, he's like, isn't that a lot like the cantina?
The one film you've seen?
Right.
Yeah.
And that happens a couple times. We're like, is that a little too Star Wars-y? Clearly he's been his board, his look board or whatever. What am I blanking on? His
a mood board.
Mood board. It's pulling from different movies. It's just Star Wars.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so funny. The fact that they traveled halfway across the world to this old village in Italy that has dust, dirt roads everywhere. And then they the first like 3 days of production are spent breaking like slabs of rock and laying them down on the ground so that the dusty dirt roads can look like dusty rocky roads. And he says this should take about 4 hours. And it's like 3 blocks of a city with 2 people doing it.
Yeah.
That's how they spend the first like 48 to 72 hours in Italy.
And it already looks great. They didn't have to add anything.
They have the entire cast and crew there. And that's when they start doing this. It's so funny. Man's a genius.
Wild.
He's a genius. Like, yeah, just his time management, his like prioritization in the moment. He always has an answer for everyone, and it's just like frequently the wrong answer.
Yeah.
Early on, when they're like still at the end of pre-production before they go to Italy, the costume and set departments are like talking about all the leather work they have to do and how they're not going to finish. And he was like, why isn't it finished? And they're like, because there's only 2 of us. And he was like, shouldn't you have sounded this alarm like a month ago? And they were like, the fact that there's only 2 of us? And he was like, yes.
This is really
We've got
bad
a
news.
lot to do, and there's 2 of us on props and sets. There's 2 of us. So
Okay,
we've
well,
done what we can.
yeah, I
and
know, but you
we're
guys should
gonna
recruit.
have a staff in Italy. You know, that's what we got.
We got
And
problems.
everyone else is otherwise occupied in our
Okay,
company. So
but this is something we should raise this alert a month ago, not now, because this is a major
that we
issue.
only have 2 people?
Yes.
You should have told him a month ago that there was only 2 of you.
Oh,
It's amazing.
man, he's so good. He's so good. I love when he's talking about that costume. He's like, it looks like leather, but when you get real close, it's actually a bunch of maggots.
Yeah.
Like, when is that gonna happen in the movie?
Yeah, like
Why does that matter?
when he's
It
giving
is pretty
his,
cool. It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
It is a cool idea. When he's giving his wife and daughter, like early on in the film, they're designing like a hooded cloak for a character, and he was like, we need to make a version of it with the lining and without the lining. So like when you're up close and you pull off the hood, you can see the lining. But when you're far away, we don't need the lining. And it's just like, why? like why? Why do you care?
I love it. I love it.
But they were working with money. Clearly, they rented a sound stage and film studio in San Francisco in
On Treasure Island.
Island.
Yeah.
Mhm. And the rent, I believe, on this space, they said later on in the film when they're actually in court for not paying rent on the space, the rent is stated to be about $17,000 a month.
The Voice of the Pentecost occupies Building 3 under a sublease that began on June 1st of 2005. They failed to pay rent in the month of January, $17,372.04.
Fucking crazy, man.
And, this is in like the 2000s. So that would be way more expensive now, even though that was only like 20 years ago. Which, again, how do you even get your foot in the door?
I don't
Yeah, it's
understand.
amazing. He's just got the gift of gab, I guess.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy that somebody agreed to give a lease to this church to sign, knowing that I guess people can smooth talk their way into anything, but I feel like this guy can't not say it's going to be the most successful movie ever. Like, I don't know, if I owned a piece of property and I was like, somebody was like, I would like to rent this from you. I don't have the money now, but I'm going to make the most successful movie ever. I'm not sure if I would be like, yeah, sounds like I'm going to get that money eventually.
I know. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was just able to do. I mean, he had that producer working with him, and
Yeah.
that was a guy who he hired for his like in a
Jens.
professional capacity. Jens. And Jens at the end of the movie when he leaves the project, he's like very upset with himself for like falling for this guy. But Jens doesn't seem like a rube. You know,
No.
like
No.
sometimes you end up in projects with people where all of a sudden you're like, of course, this person has no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
Why did I ever think that they did? But, you know, something is convenient about the project for you, your agreed rates, or like the fact that it's close to you, or it's something that you've been trying to do or whatever, and you're excited to do it.
I guess it's also like, you know, it looks very, very professional the whole way. Like, it doesn't look like, there's lots of red flags everywhere.
Right.
But it, like, if you don't, I could see somebody talking themselves into saying, like, no, this isn't going to be the most successful movie ever, but, like, this is going to be like a big budget Christian sci-fi movie that's going to make money.
And
Yeah,
everybody
and, like,
working under him sounds like ready to go.
Yeah.
Right.
And they all believe in
And
the
passionate.
projects. Yeah.
And he has
There's
a
like-
lot of people at his disposal. This whole congregation, basically. So just seeing the way that they get excited, enthused while he's explaining these ridiculous things going on in his preaching, which I don't know if this is the best use of his preaching, but I guess it is. He obviously is pretty convincing. But there is a point where they're talking to somebody who worked at like a film lab in San Francisco or something, in an equipment rental place, something like that. And he's saying that like WYSIWYG's been running up tabs everywhere, and they were well known in the community as one of the worst tenant options for the studio.
There was also a lot of talk about WYSIWYG owing local film companies a lot of money, that they would go to a lab and get stuff developed and then not pay for it after they got it. And so they had tabs running everywhere. So they were well known in the community as, you know, probably one of the worst possible tenant choices for that place.
Oh my God.
But they got it.
They got
WYSIWYG,
They still got it.
Which stands for what you see is what you get.
Yes.
WYSIWYG Film Works.
We have not stated that yet. WYSIWYG. Why did he name it that? Because he was tired of people like judging other people, or it was like supposedly all about accepting people for who they are, good or bad, and knowing that there's like a good Christian soul on the inside of anybody, which I'm not entirely sure that's what you see is what you get is like supposed to mean, but it is really funny, and I'm really glad that he called his production company that, because you're going to hear the word WYSIWYG a lot in this movie in a very self-serious way.
Yeah, there is a moment early on where he explains, like, you know, we could put Christian in the company name so people know we're Christian, but, you know, even if we didn't put it, they're going to find out anyway, and they're going to judge us for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I call us WYSIWYG, because what you see is what you get. And it's like, what?
But he says it so confidently.
I know, he really does.
It's really,
I mean,
you know, I don't know if I would personally want to go into battle with a guy who looks and sounds like this and is saying these things, but I cannot deny that he has charisma.
I know.
Right. And fairly early on, they were talking, I think it's right when they get to Italy, one of the people they're interviewing says that Richard is my spiritual father, and even when I know he's wrong, I know to step back because he listens to God, and God will correct him.
Yeah, I have some bosses that are that way as well.
Oh, man. I love towards the end of the movie when the filmmaker finally asks him, like, if God told you to stop working on this movie, would you stop? And he says that he would basically think that was his own self-doubt talking, because God has already made it his like mandate that he should make this movie, and God would never double back on that.
Yep. Yeah, he was basically like, well, yeah, of course, if God told me to stop, I would, but God's not going to tell me to stop.
Yeah.
Because he already told me to do it.
Yep.
And then the studio floods the next day.
Which is funny. Yeah. It's funny because the basically the first story of the Bible is God going back on telling someone to do something.
Well,
Remember basically in chapter 1 when God told who I don't even know. And God told Abraham to kill Isaac, and then at the last minute, he was like, I changed my mind.
It was a test.
Yep.
As is this movie, perhaps.
Yeah,
we gotta get Pastor Gazowsky on the pod.
It is a test of everyone's patience. That would be a cool get. But does anybody know what he's up to these days?
No, I meant to look
pastor?
that up, actually. Voice of Pentecost. See if they're still open for
WYSIWYG.
biz.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
there's
ever
no
come-
way WYSIWYG's still open.
Did they ever accomplish all those things that they said they would? Did we have the first organic living camera chip?
You know what?
Should we jump to that right now?
Let's jump to that right
Yeah.
now because that is like definitely one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah, there's not like a whole lot. The movie is like, they don't make the movie. Spoiler. But
don't
there's
make the
not
movie.
like, you're kind of just observing things happen and interactions. Like there's not really a plot or anything.
The
Like,
performance of them making the movie became the source of a documentary that
Yeah.
will last the test of time
yeah,
and inspires Christians to this day.
it's just a comedy of errors the whole way through. The
Right.
camera cable breaking and nearly decapitating somebody on the first day of filming. The lead actor buying remember the guy buying the fur coat because he was like, I got to start looking like a movie star.
Yeah.
He bought a bunny rabbit fur coat on his first day in Italy. That was probably reasonably expensive.
Yeah.
It's all God. I was just praying to God. God bless me, and I got this jacket. It's all bunny. So since I'm being in this movie and it's about to blow up, thought I'd start looking like a movie star ahead of time. Hey, God has already seen. He already seen this movie.
And he looked insane.
Yeah.
He looked like a pimp who also is like a professional Super Smash Brothers player.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Yeah. What is the WYSIWYG eightfold path towards Nirvana is revealed at the end after it's very clear that the movie is not. Bear in mind, this is following the failure of making the most successful Christian movie of all time.
What does he do?
You may think
Back
we're gonna
down and say, I've made a mistake. Time to step back.
let's have some more humble goals. No.
Let's regroup here for a minute.
No.
He has a presentation in his sermon where on the projection screen it says 8 arrows smite ground, and he goes on to explain that there will be 8 specific things that they will be accomplishing, Voice of Pentecost and WYSIWYG. First arrow, 47 film projects per year.
That's a lot of film projects.
Yeah, that's more than PureFlix does.
I think you're right.
That's like more than Angel Studios, who is like one of the biggest film companies,
That's-
Christian or not.
That's like one a week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's almost what a week.
You can't do that.
No.
They get off for Christmas, I guess, and Easter.
Yeah, well, sure.
Is he directing all those in his mind?
That's a really good question.
I guess you could work on 47 through the year and then just all release them all at the same time at the end of the
all
year.
at the same time.
And like
The box set.
this is, also bear in mind this is before you basically had a movie camera in your pocket all the time.
Yeah.
So that's no easy feat in the year. When did this come out again? 2007.
I think it was
is when
finished
came
in
out.
2006, but
Okay.
officially released 2007.
Okay. So 47 films per year.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Second
just
arrow.
arrow 1.
That's just arrow 1.
We have 7 more to go.
A reasonable arrow by comparison. Second arrow, a Christian theme park based on their films.
Perfect.
So,
So at least 47 rides. in
Okay,
this
yeah.
Christian
Yeah.
theme park.
and that sounds like a good day.
48 if
That's
you
right.
include Gravity's cloak or whatever it was
Yeah.
called.
Yeah, Gravity's Rainbow.
Yeah, I guess it's going to replace like Universal Studios or be the equivalent. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to build the rides? Like, who's going to, he just really thinks it's all going to materialize.
Unpaid labor
for him. Yeah,
building
unpaid
rides
labor
for people
is going to
ride.
build the first Christian theme park, except for there's a couple Christian theme parks. I mean, there's the Noah's Ark experience. There's the one that Bill Maher goes to in Religulous, which I can't remember the name of. It's like the first scene of the movie. Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I would love to see it. Again, they only filmed 2 scenes of their movie, and now they have 8 arrows to accomplish, and that was only number 2.
Two shots. 2 shots of their movie.
Shots. Yeah, 2 shots of their movie. Right, yes.
Which we will upload to Patreon for you patrons.
Yeah.
Sure.
And a third arrow.
8 television networks.
1 for each arrow, I guess.
TV networks.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're going to have to put these 47 movies a year into syndication somehow.
All right. The 8th network he specified would be a 24-hour prayer network. That was what the 8th network would be.
Awesome.
This reminds me that earlier in the film, separate to the discussion of the arrows, he says to his congregation, he says, like, I look at you and I see like all of the future television executives of America. Like he believes that really that his congregation, they were all like he at least talked to them like they were all his business partners.
It's really sad. It's like a landmark convention or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it really is kind of just like he's just running a fucking like scam seminar.
Right.
At that point.
Yeah. In the name of God and like taking people, giving people hopes that they will one day be involved in some sort of business proposition with him. I mean, he announced this to like a couple hundred people.
Before we move on to arrow number 4, there is a small arc in the movie of following his mom and how excited she is at the beginning of the movie. She actually like left the church in his hands. Her and her husband, I think, founded it. And she's very excited for, his plans and is really looking forward to him following through on them. But by the end of the movie, she's clearly very disappointed in him and even says that she doesn't know why he won't let her speak at the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard because he doesn't let me preach. I started the church with nothing and I gave my life to him.
She's already outside waiting for you.
But when I was 65, I thought, I'll be proper. I'll turn it over to my son. I'll just be proper because people retire at 65. I shouldn't have.
Yeah, she doesn't get to speak anymore. She retired and left the church in his hands, but like she figured that she would be able to guest preach every once in a while. And also she does experience she expresses some reservations about his film career, but that's kind of a sad moment.
Yeah.
That she revealed that for the camera. Like she must have been really frustrated.
Yeah.
She said she wanted to do the proper thing and retire at 65 and seemed like the proper thing to hand it over to her son. And she wished she had waited a little longer.
Back when you could retire at 65.
Incredible. Least believable thing in the movie.
Yeah. We'll be long dead before we get to 65, so you don't have to worry about that.
That's true.
What is arrow number 4?
Invent first organic living chips.
The Lord gave me a vision of the next generation of camera chip, and it is an organic living chip.
What?
This is a new kind of chip that goes into a camera, right? He said it was a computer chip that goes into a camera, and not only is it going to be a new kind of computer chip, it's going to be a living organic being.
It's a living organism?
That's like playing God at this point, right?
Yeah, you're going to invent. Sorry, there's a fly.
That's a good point.
One fly in my house, but it's attracted to Julian. It's do you want me to swat it off you?
No, don't tell people that I have fucking flies following me around.
Well,
like
only one singular fly.
Yeah, this
so
happens
far.
a lot, actually. We just don't usually talk about it.
Yeah.
I assume he came to this conclusion to invent the first organic living chip for a camera because he had to accept the fact he needed to shoot on digital. So how can he up the ante?
It also just sounds like it was an idea from the movie that he just was like really excited about and wanted to tell them about.
How do you propose to start production on a living digital microchip?
Well, with the money from the amusement park and the 47 films and the 8 TV networks.
I guess it would for the money from 47 films.
Yeah.
Good God.
I'm assuming that each one of these leads to the next one. Like 47, you make 47 movies, you're going to have enough money to.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you make 47 movies, you're going to have a lot of money left over.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And he's probably taking into account one or two of them might not be successful.
Yeah. That's why we're only building one amusement park.
Sure.
Right.
It's a passion project. More arrows, please.
Fifth arrow. Airline.
That's what the quiverfuls say right before they have sex.
Yeah. Fifth arrow. Airline with terminal.
We're going to own an airline. From here on out, buckle your seatbelts, guys.
Yes.
And the audience responded to the audience. The congregation responded pretty positively to this.
I was kind of wondering, like, what does the... honestly, I was wondering, like, how is the crowd receiving this? And then they lost their shit at this. I don't know why, out of all these, the
airline
airline made people go
like,
crazy.
We're going to own an airline.
Well, it's something
Arguably
practical. Everything else is an exciting idea, but they're thinking like, I can fly for free now.
Yes, yeah. Arguably the most attainable of all of these so far.
Maybe.
On the scale of...
It's already a technology that exists. That helps.
I think if you're making 47 films based on what he was doing for his one film, I think you would have enough money to buy
an
airline. Yeah. I mean, an airline is technically just one plane.
That's all you really need.
Yeah.
To qualify as owning an airline.
With your own terminal too, though?
Yeah, I'm sure you could find a field somewhere in Central California.
Why do they need to own an airline?
Look,
Travel
he's just
for the films.
Don't shoot the
movies.
messenger. He's just reporting what God told him.
Right.
Yeah. It's not ours to question why God wants these things.
Exactly. Sixth arrow, 27 resort cities around the world.
Why?
This is number 6 of 8, by the way.
Yeah, at this point he says, okay, now buckle up for the rest of them.
Yeah. What does it mean? What does it all mean?
City?
27 resort cities.
To own 27 resort cities, like Christian.
And that's what it says in the
Pentecostal.
list. He does say resort towns when he's actually
resort towns.
delivering it.
27 resort towns around the world.
But it does say what is typed on the list says resort cities. So
Okay.
that's either way.
What
27?
does this serve? To what end? Why 27?
What's like the opposite of hedonism too?
Ooh, asexuality 3.
Were we doing the pod when we've looked up pictures of hedonism too and found the guy you know?
Reporting. I don't think we were currently recording the podcast at that time. But that was pretty remarkable. Me and Julian were looking at pictures like
Google,
of day-to-day life at
it's like Google reviews or something.
Yeah, Google reviews of day-to-day life at the Jamaican adults only resort facility Hedonism 2. And we actually found a man from my hometown in the pictures who I knew.
I thought it was Syracuse.
It was actually from Allentown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, an Allentown guy.
Wow.
Yeah, I had dinner at his house once because my friend like lived with him. He was this like really hypersexual, like older gay man.
Yeah.
And like I don't think he ever like hit on my friend or anything, but like my friend was like a really hot like 19-year-old boy who like wanted a cheap room in Allentown, and I think this guy was like, you can live with me, you know. Which again, I'm not suggesting anything untoward happened, but it was like this guy, everything he talked about was just like, he's like, oh yeah, like I go to this nudist resort like every year.
Wow.
He like told us that, and I believe he was referring to hedonism too, because he was in the fucking pictures, and I was like, is that fucking Charlie? And I like sent it to a guy.
He was a very distinct looking man.
Yeah, he was.
So
and I sent it to one of my friends, and he was like, yeah, that's him. That was crazy to know a guy in the Hedonism 2 Google reviews.
Is that Pastor Gazowsky?
Yeah. I think we got 2 more arrows.
Yeah.
This honestly, the resorts seems the most out of left field of all these things.
I mean, there's 2 coming up.
At this point, well, okay, but hold on. From everything I've learned about this man over the course of this movie, because this is at the very end.
Yeah.
All of these track to some extent. Like I can see where his mind at least sort of came to this. So
I guess the airlines would take you to the resorts.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and the resorts kind of overlaps with the amusement parks. The amusement park.
That's true.
I don't know. It just seems kind of like. I'm saying it's like it's weird to have the amusement park and the 27 resorts.
Yeah.
I don't even think I would mention the amusement park if I was talking about organic living chips, and I kind of think like it would just be an assumption that I would have an amusement park at some point if I was inventing organic living chips and had 27 resort cities.
Buried in the middle, I invented
I would imagine
living chips.
If I had to design 27 resort towns, one of them would have an amusement park in it, because I think you'd be kind of hard pressed to think of a lot of variants for your resort towns without thinking of an amusement park at one of them. Sure. Yeah. I don't know. There's hotels that have roller coasters in them.
True.
Circus.
Yeah, that's
malls.
true.
Yeah. Anyways, go on. Who am I to judge? This is God's plan.
Yeah. We'll see what he had in mind someday soon.
The 7th arrow is that he's taking us into outer space.
Okay.
Yes.
He's taking us into outer space.
With the crew of people at his church? Like, who's gonna man?
So when did you learn to fly when did you learn to fly the space shuttle?
Yesterday.
I mean, people do that. You can do that now, so it's not that crazy.
Plus, at this point, he has to be a billionaire, right? So, like,
at the very least,
you just kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah,
I can just like picture him picturing his life where someone calls him on the phone and is like, where should we put the rocket? And he's like, over there.
Yep.
Like not a doubt in his mind.
Yep.
Like he just knows where the best place is.
Watching it like take off and then just explode immediately and like not even be fazed by it.
Like, well, that happens.
Yep. Hey, don't trip out, man. Don't trip out.
Don't be high maintenance. Or just being like, no, I think that the living computer chip should look more like this. Like that's how he thinks it's gonna be. Like it doesn't really require any skill or anything. It just
does come up a few times in the movie where he talks about the look and how important the look is. And he says like 90% really is just the look, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, Steve Jobs was pretty well known but this is before the iPhone. So it's like Steve Jobs wasn't the household name.
I feel like not. I don't really remember.
And like, this is like proto Elon, who would just like say things and then tell people to make them. And like, in order to keep your job, you just had to figure out something that basically already existed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, it kind of makes sense that this type of guy exists in the like climate of San Francisco at the time. I wonder if he went to like a tech convention or something and he does go to a tech convention in the movie. Anyways, what is number 8?
8th arrow.
And the last arrow that he showed me is we will colonize another planet.
Okay.
Weirdly doesn't seem as unrealistic as some of the other ones.
You think he could handle life in 27 resort towns before he can make hedonism 1 through 20? He can make temperance 1 through 27.
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's only one colony.
Yeah,
It seems realistic by comparison of 48 movies a year and 27 resorts.
I mean, this is just like shit that I did when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Like I would like open a Word document and I would like plan out like the robot I was going to build or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also funny because like God doesn't talk about other planets. He says the heavens, or she says the heavens. But nowhere in the Bible is it ever talking about like, and then they went to Mars.
Right.
It's probably in the Book of Enoch. I still got to read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
So, I mean, what doth it profit a man to go to another planet, have a Christian colony on another planet?
I really don't know.
I would assume because there's aliens there that you're going to convert.
There you
He's
go.
like looking at his congregation like, I think you could be the head of the colony. You could be this or whatever. Like, what?
I just
who
need
is
to talk
doing
to you
this
for
with him?
20 minutes, man. I'm in charge of the crops.
I'm in
for
charge
the
of
planet.
the lunar colony.
Hey, don't trip out, man. Don't trip out.
They don't have water there. We're going to need water. It's going to work out. We've got water coming from Germany.
How is he going to balance the resort towns and the airplane? I would love to hear what his mom thought about the owning an airline, going
Colonizing
to Mars,
another planet.
colonizing another planet. It's just like, really, at that point, like, what are you doing running a church? What's the point of the church?
I mean, this is all to spread the word of God.
I guess.
Right. So all of this is part of running the church.
He says after giving all the arrows, it's either God or I'm crazy.
Oh, right. Right. Yeah, he says sometimes when you hear God speak to you, for a second you think, am I crazy?
This guy saw Star Wars and it triggered something horrible inside of him.
Yeah. Many such cases.
Yeah. It's really, really interesting. And the fact that he can like string together a complete sentence gets him so far. He looks fucking weird, dude. He looks
weird.
He doesn't look like somebody I would believe does anything.
Imagine if he watched like Nymphomaniac instead. As
For his
first
first
movie.
film. Wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
What?
We're going to have the first Christian film with full unsimulated penetration.
Yeah. I think that's beautiful.
I wish he had seen Francesca Fingernails as his first movie.
The first movie he ever saw was Francesca Fingernails, and he immediately got $200 million worth of funding to make Spooky Gang Inc., the web series.
Oh my
They
God.
start releasing promos for that.
I saw a little bit of it, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I never responded to the email
I forgot to
asking for
respond.
help.
I got an email as well. I
Oh,
forgot to
really?
respond.
Wow, they
I got
were
a
trying.
DM. I got a DM.
Okay.
I forgot to respond, but I
think I'm
so busy
just,
right
now. Don't hold me to this, but I don't think I think I might be done collabing with them for a while.
It's a big commitment to shoot a web series. They
now is not
understand.
the time. Now is not the time.
It's
your big
commitment.
break, Julian.
Yeah, it's true. I'm well on my way to 47 feature films. I mean, fucking the shit they ask me, it might as well be 47 feature films.
Well, I
They
just
actually don't ask for much.
You should send them this movie, actually. They need to start a church.
Yeah.
Start a church. I just feel like I don't want to commit to something unless I'm sure I can give it my all.
Yes, totally.
And I'm just so busy with work and everything. I am not in a place to give my attention to Spooky Gang Inc., the hit web series that has not yet been released from Three Angels Power, coming soon to the bronze screen.
I don't have the heart to tell them that, but I will tell all of our listeners.
Yeah, it's easier to talk to.
You have to tell them
Audience
the
of
bad
100.
news that you value your time and that it actually is. You have to pay attention to time in your daily life in Los Angeles.
I do.
Yeah.
It's hard. But, there's other film productions to be in. I mean, we wrapped on Brad Rolant's production.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like our crew, our 8 hours are well defined.
Yep.
I mean, there's 47 film projects happening. It's only about time that our resort towns, we should start planning those now. Start thinking of names for your resort town.
Boys Bible Study 2.
Boys Town.
Boys Town 2.
Boys Town 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to come up with the first resort town where only boys are allowed.
Yes. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be freaking awesome.
We won't have to do chores.
No.
Play video games all night long.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Just something.
I'm liking this.
Yeah. I'll just have to wait for God to confirm. But
Firefest 2.
Yeah. That's the eightfold path of WYSIWYG production. WYSIWYG Church. The WYSIWYG of extended universe.
I got to get one of those WYSIWYG shirts or like the jacket, whatever he had.
What if they have any? I wonder if anybody's putting any on like eBay or something. Just cleaning out the closet.
Yeah, we should redesign their merch for our own bootleg merch. But I do think that, this is kind of an obvious critique. We already touched on it, but Audience of One is pretty remarkable for blending Christianity and worldliness and literally making an entire religion where the premise of it is we're going to buy our own airline.
Yeah.
And it's just such a fun, puzzle as a watcher of this film to just try to untangle, where does Pastor Gazowsky's sincerity and his Machiavellian-ness begin. It just kind of seems like it's all the same thing to him.
Yeah. I mean, he literally cannot be wrong in anything he does because he just, with full conviction, says this is God's plan. And no matter what happens, it's all part of the process. There's never a failure. It's just another step on the journey. Just really remarkable.
I mean, it's unfortunately it's very cult-like. I don't even remember what documentary this was or why I saw it. I think it was just on TV when I was a kid. But I remember watching a documentary on a pretty small cult. It was, maybe 100 people or so, 200 people. And it was led by this man. And God would always tell him to do things that seemed pretty convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Frequently, God would tell him that he had to have sex with other people's wives.
Sure.
And I remember seeing this as a kid. There was this interview where it was the leader and one of his a fellow male cult leader who's about the same age as him and that guy's wife. And in it, the leader was just yeah, and then God told me to have sex with his wife and I just had to do it. And the man looked so uncomfortable and but he and his wife were just yeah, that's just what had to happen. And I was just damn.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember seeing that as a kid and being how do you find yourself in a dynamic where there's just another guy who's your peer and he's just well, I just have dominion over you.
A lot of very, very impressionable people in the world.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's also an endless well of entertainment for the rest of us.
I know. And I mean, Pastor Gazowsky, he himself doesn't claim to have any supernatural ability or, I guess maybe hearing directly from God, maybe one could argue that is it. He never claims that he is better than anyone else or he seems to be taking real sacrifices in order to execute his own vision the same way that everyone else is. But at the same time, he is fully just exerting his will 100%. in the name of God. And
Just
it's
start doing that more.
Yeah. I think this was a very inspiring documentary.
Yes.
At the very least, if there's one thing we can all learn from this, just don't be wrong. There's no reason why give anyone an inch. Like, just be like, yeah, I meant to do that.
Honestly, I feel like several people in my life would say I do practice that on a daily basis. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's for them to decide.
Yeah, that's not for us.
I know the truth.
At this point, I'm of the opinion it's a good thing. It just seems like the most effective way to get things done.
Yeah.
Or not done in the case of this movie.
Shall we?
It's the most effective way to get things not done. Just keep going.
To it. Okay, so in looking up WYSIWYG Filmworks gear in hopes that I could find a shirt or jacket, I discovered that Pastor Gazowsky also has a book called Prophetic Whisper. The true story of San Francisco-based WYSIWYG Filmworks.
Wow.
Okay.
Is WYSIWYG still around?
I don't think so.
Have I talked about it on the podcast?
No sign of that.
Have I talked about on the podcast before how Jerry Sandusky's memoir is called Touched?
I think you did bring that up the other week.
And it's from like 20 years before his crimes were revealed.
Okay, I did not know that. I should say
made public. Isn't that crazy?
Why do people leave clues?
I mean, we talk about this stuff enough on this podcast already. I don't need to talk about it again. I already did enough by bringing up this fucking book out of nowhere. It's just so fucking funny to me.
Don't call your book that. Come on.
It's sorry. It's an evil, horrible crime. But the fact that the book is called that is really fucking funny.
Wait, do either of y'all have the Yelp app?
Not the app
in front of me.
Okay, damn.
Not the app.
Because I found Christian WYSIWYG Filmworks is on Yelp. It has 1 star.
Oh.
It is Yelpers report this location has closed, and I cannot read the review, but Pamela Yu left a review 6 years ago saying, I worked for Richard as a scriptwriter for a year and I don't know what else it says.
Sounds like he's still at it if that's from 6 years ago. People are just review bombing him because they doubt his vision.
I wonder if I could see it on my laptop. Yeah, I bet I could see it on my laptop.
Hold on. Let me
bring it up. I'm going to use the restroom real quick.
Yeah, do that while we're looking up WYSIWYG
Here
review.
You go. Yeah, we need more WYSIWYG info. He's just so confident. I guess if you just really believe that God is telling you.
I was able to read Pamela's review.
Ooh, what'd she say?
It's not super long, but it is kind of interesting. So it's from 2019. I don't know when she's referring to it, but she says, I worked for Richard as a scriptwriter for a year for free and nothing came of it. He's always planning, but with no follow through. He turned down a good chance to have a presence on a Christian TV network because he didn't like their request that he put in some investment. What had he been raising funds for, if not that? Not surprised it's gone under. She left her full name, Pamela Urfer, so I Googled her, and she has a website called theartofautism.com.
Interesting.
And let's look at her fact sheet here.
These people never have just one thing.
I know. It's a nonprofit of some kind, and she has an article called Why I Draw Jesus Pictures. So it's like a Christian autism art nonprofit.
That's nice.
Anyway, her art is really bad, but that's not the point here.
She autistic?
I don't believe so. I mean, not that she says, at least. It seems that she's supporting autistic people, but she worked for free as a scriptwriter for What You See Is What You Get. Filmworks.
What was the name of the movie? Did she say?
No. She just says in 2019 she said that she worked for Richard as a scriptwriter for a year for free and nothing came of it. So I don't know if she's referring to the audience of one era, or if it was like many,
Or one of the 47 a year that you...
Yeah.
They might have. No, this can't be them. There's like some short film night in I don't know where this is, but it has like good design, and it's called What You See Is What You Get Cinema. Like, do they know? I would like to think so, but is there anything we should share before we rate this movie? I also wouldn't mind, letting people discover this for themselves.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we, covered the essence.
Yeah, well worth watching. It really is, like, to me, like top 3 documentaries. Like,
yeah,
I love it.
It's
this is
really, really good. I don't really like watch movies twice that often, even though this was a few years ago, and I put this on kind of thinking I could like tune in and out because I had seen it before, and I was just gripped from start to finish.
Yeah.
It is really a really, really remarkable character study, and he is just such a fantastic personality.
Truly. Oh, and this was the third time I had seen it, and I noticed this time that the key grip, an important role on set, was done by his son.
Awesome,
who,
Sonny.
to my knowledge, had no previous experience.
I loved the scene where his son is like leading Ken on doing a stunt where he flips on cables and ends up slamming his head directly into the floor. Which is crazy. Oh, also random moment, but I love the scene where they're on set in Italy and his daughter Rocky is saying, "Hey Dad, the horses are pretty skittish and there's all these children around. I'm worried about the children." And he was just like, "It's fine, honey." And she was like, "No, the horses are skittish. I'm worried about the children." He says, like, "So watch the children."
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready?
These kids are going to be running around these horses. I'm just wondering if it's safe.
Don't worry about this.
Wait, we just making sure the horse is gonna be okay.
Because they're a little skittish, Dad. They're a little,
Okay, are we ready for that action?
I'm really concerned about the children.
Don't worry, they'll watch the children. Okay, Rocky off the set.
Like, they had to get the shot.
And
they didn't get the shot.
And here's the thing, they didn't get the shot.
It was so stressful when they got to Italy, and you're just like, when are you going to start filming? Please start filming.
I know. Please, just like, something. You're keeping all these kids up late.
So stressful.
There's a crazy language barrier. Not a crazy language barrier, but the one you would expect, rather. It was funny too how he was like, and when I say action, he was like sort of changing the way he would say words.
Yeah.
To make it more Italian sounding, I guess.
Excuse me. My name is Richard Gazowsky. I am the director.
Sono il regista del film, mi chiamo Richard.
Okay, it is my voice that you will hear that says action.
È la mia voce che vi dirà azione, quindi direi.
When I say the word action, that means that you start moving, and then they will roll the camera. The camera will be way up there. Never look at the camera.
Non guardare mai la videocamera.
Okay, no.
Well, when he was giving out cappuccinos on set to the employees, he was going, "A cappuccino? A cappuccino?"
Me ordering a burrito at the down the street.
Literally. Me too. Let's rate this.
All
one.
right, yeah.
This is essential. This is essential to understanding Christian cinema.
I am going to give this 60 out of 60 frames per second.
All right.
Shot on 70 millimeter. Because this movie went above and beyond what is necessary to display a truly beautiful mind. Just an excellent documentary. I think Julian was kind of saying this too. I think most documentaries are kind of not very cinematic, and although I appreciate the information, the ones I like give, not really worth a revisit a lot of the time. This is this is must watch. This should be the first thing they show you in film school and the first thing they show you in theology school.
Yeah. In Sunday school.
And Sunday school.
I'm going to give this 3 out of 3 months of unpaid rent due to the city of San Francisco. It was just nice to watch a documentary that wasn't like trying to be its own movie. I just feel like every documentary I watch nowadays is like they've clearly bought all the nicest cameras. They just, I don't fucking know.
Drone footage.
Like
he's just the filmmaker is kind of doing the opposite of what Pastor Gazowsky is. Yeah. And he's just like along for the ride with the congregation and just like going where it takes him.
Just there. It was really funny. I guess one moment that really stood out with me was like the way they would twist it to like, does the city of San Francisco want to be a part of this?
That was awesome.
Like they put the burden of, obviously it didn't work, but like it was just so interesting to see them like try to spin it around on the city.
I went to prayer and the Lord, I first cast a lot before the Lord about, going to the tie-dye meeting if they should keep us in the building. And it come up, no, that we shouldn't go to the meeting. Yeah, but you see, I can't do that because the Lord already gave me instructions not to. You get what I'm saying? And so it really needs to be the Lord, not us. Do you know what I mean? Because I really feel, and Linda, that the city, I really feel God's testing the city. Does the city want us? And that's what I feel God is testing, is does the city want us to do this film in San Francisco?
Don't you want to be a part of the most successful movie ever made? Like,
don't you want $200 million of work in San Francisco?
Yeah. Great movie. Check it out. It is on YouTube. Somebody weirdly uploaded it 8 months ago.
Yes.
So yeah, check it out.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the unpaid rent, I loved the scene where they had candles lit on the floor of their like huge unpaid like soundstage that the electricity was cut off. And they were like, I think this is a miracle. Like 5 months we haven't paid rent and we're still here, It's like, dude. I myself am going to have to give this a very good documentary 10 out of 10 airbrushed tan people. Because that was a feature early on in the film. They were like, well, these actors live in the desert in the movie, so they have to be tan. So we bought this new airbrush system to tan them.
Yeah. It was really funny when he was at the the equipment convention in Vegas, and he's like telling the guy like, we're going to film a biblical movie in Greenland. And the guy was just like, why are you going to Greenland if it's set in Bible times? And he's just like, well, it's not exactly in the Bible. It's not like, it's a biblical story, but doesn't take place. It's not an adaptation of the Bible. It's just really funny for somebody immediately to be like, Bible doesn't happen in Greenland.
A very natural question. Yeah. That's funny because like you're taking this guy seriously because he's just said he's going to spend like $15,000 on equipment that you're selling.
Yeah.
So you have to be like, yes, sir. And then he's like, oh, we're going to film this Bible Times movie in Greenland. And your first instinct is to be like, why there? Like, okay.
There's no snow in the Bible.
No, it's never mentioned.
Isn't that crazy? Neither are cats.
They didn't have a word for that then. Cats, they were created on accident.
That's true.
They're demons. They escaped from hell.
Yeah. They mention ostriches by name in the Bible, but they do not mention cats.
Good. That's what I say.
Fascinating.
I will say ostrich people they're too much for me. But
yeah. Plus, you got to get up early and take them for walks.
Take them for walks.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you, everyone. Thanks to our audience of one. Everybody listening to this podcast.
Is that what our Patreon numbers are down to?
Yeah, but you know what? That makes us just strive for excellence even more. Because if we get one bad review, that's everything. So in some ways, we can relate to Pastor Gazowsky's mission here. And we really genuinely thank you all for listening. Please check out this amazing film. And also, shout outs to our patron saints at the $20 tier, Nicole, Marissa, Jeff, Mark, and Alex. Thanks so much for your generosity. Also, our outro song is Oh My God by Mary. So from all of us here at Boys Bible Study, WYSIWYG's Boys Bible Study, myself, Ash, my co-hosts, Scott and Julian, we would like to say, peace be with you.
And also with you.
WYSIWYG, 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 WYSIWYG.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I feel your love in me, it's coming from within. Oh my God, my devotion is so unwavering. Divine emotions when you enter me.